So it's Andrew Clover, and I'm here at the Edinburgh International Conference Centre with Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, I can't believe your luck, frankly. You're very lucky to have me. Go ahead, Andrew.
Can you just describe the situation, Jimmy, where we are now?
We're backstage at the EICC, which is the venue I played the last 7 years in Edinburgh. This is my 9th Edinburgh solo show. I've been coming here about 11 years. I think I've known you from the start, since you were a kind of BBC script editor.
Yes.
As I remember when I first started in comedy, so we've known each other a long time. Very much kind of Edinburgh stalwarts, I suppose. We come every year. It's sort of an addiction, an attention addiction, and there's a slight air, I would say, of panic. Only in that, I mean, I've done the show a good few times now. This will be my 8th night in Edinburgh this year, previewing a new show. But I've just rushed over here from I saw Bo Burnham this afternoon, and then I saw Josie Long. And that only finished about 10 minutes ago, so I had to jump into a cab and rush over. And so it's a little bit frenetic. I've got to set out my notes because I haven't learnt the show yet.
Yes.
But other than that, that's the scene setting done.
So out of 10, how nervous would you say you are?
A little, and kind of excited. I mean, it's always like with a new show. It's you know what I think a lot of what stand-up comedy is it's about tricking yourself into thinking this is exciting when actually this is fucking petrifying.
Yeah.
It's just a ludicrous thing to want to do for a living. I mean, that classic, I think of most people are afraid of public speaking for very good reason.
Yeah. What are the things that are most prey on your mind as fears at this stage before the show?
Before the show, I suppose it would be, I suppose it is that thing of you want to be, ultimately, even though the kind of comedy that I do doesn't really express this, but ultimately you just want to be liked. You want people to think that you're funny. A joke, essentially, I mean, I tell 250 jokes in the show, and a joke is a shorthand. It's a way of saying to someone, I like you, and I want you to like me. And essentially that's what you're saying to 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Constantly. Repeatedly.
So you've been here for a week, and every day there's different things. Like, do you have a note for yourself, something you're working on in today's show that you want to concentrate on?
There's a lot of audience interaction in the show this year, which I haven't really done before. I mean, I've done it more on tour, but in Edinburgh I've always just kind of previewed the jokes. And this year it's a bit more about performance. It's a bit more about kind of, what I can do with the, on stage with punters, with people kind of getting up and making it feel, I want to make it feel a bit more like this could only happen tonight. Yeah. This is special, as opposed to, just kind of, you're talking through the gags and, and even if they're good gags, it's the same every night. That would be a text, I believe, from my tour manager telling me, that the stage is clear, so I can now go up and do the setting. So I'll go in 2 seconds.
So Rod Gilbert has just come off, and you have to go on.
Yeah, so
what do you have to do out there?
I just have to kind of set out my notes and make sure that I'm kind of happy with the stage. It's basically it's very ritualistic. It's to make sure that the stage is exactly how it always is. Everything's in the right place and the water's in the right place. And I suppose you get into a habit of kind of knowing exactly where you like everything. I mean, it's not kind of superstitious. It's just kind of, maybe it is. Maybe it's the acceptable side of superstition.
So you're working tonight on this show and making more of a performance, like the banter, you want that to be nice and warm, and you want
not even warm. I mean, I just want it to be different every night. I want it to feel like this Saturday night in Edinburgh, the people that were at the show, I want them to feel like, well, if you came on a Sunday night, you saw a different show. Yeah. I want it to feel like it's a different sort of.
So you want to communicate them as realistically and as sincerely as possible, and just get them listening to you.
Yeah, well, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, definitely. But more than that, I want to keep it interesting for myself because, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I've done a lot of shows now. I do maybe 220 nights a year on the road, never mind Edinburgh. And I want it to be a show that I feel is fun to do every night. That's like really that I never get bored of. That I feel, and the more audience interaction, the more bits that I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. And then that's about making sure that the other bits where I'm just doing gags to the audience are absolutely nailed, that you just know them and you can just you're just throwing out. There's 30 jokes, bang, there's an audience bit, there's another 30 jokes. I do love it.
But you now have to go and set the show.
Yeah, well, I'll do that and then I'll come back and talk to you some more. Are you staying and watching the show?
No, I'm staying to watch the show, okay. But
you're more than welcome.
I'll happily wait and till you set it.
Yeah, I don't know, hang out, I guess. Yeah. I feel free to have a drink.
We can't watch the setting, that can't be seen, can it? You're on the stage.
No, I'm just doing that. I mean, you can film that if you want to film that from the floor, you can.
Okay.
Come and do that.
We'll run behind you then.
Yeah, run behind me if you want. Quite like the running through corridors. It always looks
this is the Spinal Tap moment.
Well, it is a bit Spinal Tap, isn't it? I've definitely got lost before in theatre.
I like to see the gladiator making his way to the combat area.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's as a venue. I suppose compared to the other venues in Edinburgh, it's very good evening delegates.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean it's air conditioned, very comfortable seats, and in a way that makes it more difficult because the audience are very comfortable and they sit back. And I do a much longer show. I do an hour and a half straight through. So the audience kind of after 70 minutes, there's naturally like a little bit of a lull.
Yeah.
And you've got to really fight to kind of make sure that 70 to 80 minute thing you really kind of build.
What's the key to making that build work, do you find?
I've literally no idea. I'm working on it. Okay, so if you guys go through that way,
cool.
You see me on the stage.
Lovely.
So this is the room. The room rotates as well. You can turn from being a 1200 seater into being a 600 seater or 900.
Wow.
Yep, it's kind of cool. It's a little bit different from the Pleasance.
It is.
Oh.
You can get yourself set upstairs with the coach. Cool.
Hey, who won the Foster's thing?
Russell Kane?
Yeah, okay.
And then
Yeah.
I
thought it was like a
got
midnight-
the panel
I
award.
saw Bo this afternoon after he got it. He said, I think I got the consolation prize. I'm not sure.
I don't know what it is. the panel award.
But didn't someone win like Comedy Legend or something? Wasn't someone going to be... Weren't they picking someone from the last 25 years to win Comedy God or something?
That's not public.
Oh.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Who do you think that was who won it?
It was going to be Frank Chicken, wasn't it?
Yeah, Stuart Lee had like an online campaign to make it Frank Chickens.
Was there a part of you going, it could be me, I could be the...
No.
I could be the pick?
In Edinburgh, I'm lucky that I get away with being up here. You know, because it's that thing where, I mean, you know, I don't give it a hard time to come and play the comedy centre, because I am here every year, so what can you do? But, you know, you don't want to be coming up and selling that big venue when people are having a hard time. That wouldn't be good.
There was a bit of me that was thinking it could be me, but
Very good, guys. Well, so are they in?
yes.
And then,
Till the last minute, there's a wait. Okay, cool. I'm totally confused myself there. I picked
Cool, we're good, thank you.
on my camera of that photo. And it's just kept on doing it.
Get one of Andrew commentating a bit on what's going on.
All right there, Mike. Well, where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good evening and welcome to day something else of Edinburgh 2010. It's the Jimmy Carr show. Okay, cool. 1, 2. There's also a feed that's there going across to me. We need to put in. It's marked up Jimmy, but I'll have a look at that when I get up there. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. 1, 2.
how's your
Cool.
movie? Good?
Really good, yeah.
Mike 1.
I've just got good at performing it in the last 3 shows. How have I done it 25 times?
7, 8, 9, 10. This is Mike 1.
And also,
used
but the
for
difference, like the people who
interview.
saw it the first 21 nights, if they saw it again,
Cool,
wouldn't
cool.
notice the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think as a performer, you get
And
to that
Mike
weird
2.
stage where you pick up the detail.
This is Mike 2, used for the double act bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright? Cool, we just need the projector, which looks like it's doing its business anyway. Oh,
Yeah, can you bring the mic down?
I will do, yeah.
Cool, alright, lovely. Thanks, mate.
Do you feel, is that you done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm on in 10 minutes.
We'll leave you in 3. Does that work?
Yeah, fine. It's fine, now that bit's done and I'm dressed, I'm good.
Yeah. I heard that Jonathan Rossi does that thing of like, my mate watched him recording once, and he was going, so anyway, my mum, just telling an anecdote, and then he went 3, 2, 1, and he turned to the camera, hello, it's Jonathan Ross. And you kind of think, is that because he has balls of steel? And I think actually, he knows what he wants, is that storytelling, anecdotal style, and he's delivering it just before. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, well, no, I don't know. I just think he's kind of I mean, certainly on the radio. I've been on his radio show where there's been like, he's been telling another story about something else.
Yeah.
Like to one, you know, and then 3, 2, 1, end of the record, bang, he's back on. I think it's just, you know, being so used to it, so kind of on it.
But what composure must the guy have?
Well, I think it is that thing though, where you get people that are. I mean, I think it's a very different thing being a comedian to being a broadcaster.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most comics that become TV presenters, I mean, comics are chancers by their very nature. But
Yeah.
the idea of being a presenter, being a broadcaster, it's a very different skill set. I mean, you occasionally meet people that are brilliant broadcasters.
Yeah.
But it's quite a rare skill for someone to be, because they make it look so easy.
Yeah.
I think the only person that, you know, I mean, I think Jonathan's amazing. I think Danny Baker would fall into the kind of genius bracket, you know, in terms of broadcasters.
Why do you like him so much?
He's just an extraordinary, because he's got such a vision of what he's doing and why he's doing it. I think he's got an amazing radio show. I mean, whatever radio show he's ever done. But he's been probably the most innovative British broadcaster of the last 25 years.
But
I mean, he doesn't get the props
Yeah.
for that necessarily, but I think he's an extraordinary. I think it's quite an interesting thing because comics, you know, comedy's the new rock and roll. Whatever they're writing about it this year, the comedians are on TV a lot.
yeah.
But actually, we're often not very good broadcasters. But it's a different skill set.
But you do them both. You do the presenting and you do the live stand-up. Which element do you enjoy the most?
I think I probably enjoy the stand-up more because it's you're just sort of on your own. It's the difference between, I guess, playing football and playing tennis. One is a team game,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter how good the one guy is. I mean, you know, you could be let down by the team, or you know, the team do the work and you get the glory, whatever it is. But just when you're on your own, there's something quite sort of magical about the responsibility of that, and the kind of, and you know, and the nerves and the fretting backstage, and I don't know. It's kind of a glamorous notion of, you know, being on your own. There is something gladiatorial about it. There's something really nice.
But also there's you facing that audience and you're willing them into an audience that loves you and are having fun. Like, do you have any pictures in your head of the audience, how you're hoping them to be?
Not really. No, I mean, I suppose the thing about comedy, as opposed to anything, you know, I've seen some great theatre shows in Edinburgh this year and some great kind of sketch things that what they're shooting for is a feeling. They're shooting for, I'd like people to leave going, oh yeah, wow, I guess my relationship with my dad is weird, yeah. Whereas what I'm looking for is laughter, and lots of it, in a row. Come in. You know, I'm just looking for gags. Hey, Gav. So how long we got? Do you reckon there'll be 10 minutes getting in?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be done in 1
Oh no, it's fine. He's not in charge of anything. Get out. Yeah.
Cool, so Sam will come and get you.
All right. Yeah. Lovely.
You're happy with everything?
Yeah. Cool.
You didn't bring a laptop or anything today, did you?
No, I didn't bring anything,
Totally
I just-
freaked out last night.
Yeah. No, I'm great. I've got nothing on me.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Cool.
See you after.
Jimmy, can I ask you the question you touched on at the audience, which is there is sort of two views on Jimmy Carr amongst other comedians, and there's the one where you'll have heard that kind of, this is not my view, where people go, oh, well, you know, he plays this big conference centre and it's just not fair because the Fringe is supposed to be about us, and what happens is these big acts, they suck and they hoover all our audience up.
Well, I mean, on the one hand, yes, and on the other hand, I was here first. You know, there's one thing where I kind of go, well, I've been here, this is my 9th solo show, I haven't missed a year in the last 12 years, from New Act competition, from So You Think You're Funny to the Daily Telegraph, to doing Robin Necker at the Café Royal, to my first solo show at the Gilded Balloon, then the Pleasance, and then I've been here the last 7 years, and I've always been here, and I feel like I've kind of made my audience. I've got my audience. They come and see me every year. There'll be people this evening afterwards at the signing that will say to me, I've been the last 5 years, or I've been the last 7 years, or I remember you when you did that show, and I feel like I've built that. I feel like I've, you know, in a way you sort of feel like, well, I've earned that. The other thing is, and this is more of a defence, and I'm not sure to what extent this is true, but the idea at the Edinburgh Fringe, you feel like, if I was a Fringe punter, and I go to a lot of shows, so you feel like, I want a couple of bankable shows. I want to go and see a few people that I know are going to be good. So with me, that would be David O'Doherty, I would see every year. Simon Munnery, I would see every year without fail. Josie Long, which is out, that we've just seen, every year. I'd always go and see those. But on the days that I see them, I'm much more willing to take a risk on something new that I haven't seen before. And, you know, it's about kind of that light and shade, that kind of, well, I'll take a risk on that, but I'm not going to take a risk on everything. Because imagine if you're a punter, you come and you take a risk on 4 shows because you've seen flyers, and they're all terrible. Next year you go to Spain. You don't bother coming back to the Edinburgh Fringe. So you've got to have that thing of like, some people like my stuff and they want to come and see it.
Yeah.
Other people, I think the real comedy aficionados in Edinburgh, a lot of them would have the kind of, would think, I could see Jimmy Carr during the year. I know he's going to be touring. He's very available. You know, I make myself very available. So they can come and see me anywhere. So they wouldn't necessarily come, you know, the Saturday of the Edinburgh, you know, last Saturday of Edinburgh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an element of envy. I did realise myself that I envied you at one point, Jimmy, because we started at the same time, and there was a sudden point when we were saying, "Oh, Jimmy, he's playing golf with Jay Leno," and I didn't realise it was envy. I was going, "Well, it's just not right because it's not." But I remember going out of a newsagent, and there was I couldn't pay for my milk, and there was a big billboard, Jimmy Carr at the Hammy Odeon, and I went, "Oh." But you know what's happened is every time I've met you, you've been extremely kind. And the other view about comedians is always Jimmy Carr. People say I've never heard someone say a bad word against you. Like if you go to a wine bar in Petersfield or something, oh yeah, Jimmy Carr, he was a great bloke, yeah, he's a great bloke. And the thing that comedians also say is they go, yeah, but he did 258 gigs in his first year. You know, you have to turn up to 50 open spots a week to get that. People go, he's worked it, and good luck to the guy.
I think the work ethic helps. I think it helps with people kind of going understanding, but also it's almost like, I mean, I've often said that comedy is a personality disorder that you can do for a living.
Yeah.
And I think I have it worse than most people. I think other comics kind of see that. They go, yeah, I need attention, but that guy's crazy. Like I need attention 60 times a year. He seems to need it 220 times a year, and you know, I mean, it's very nice of you to say. I mean, I always try and be very supportive of, you know, the performers, but I think ultimately it's just because I'm quite into it. I'm quite a comedy fan. I'm quite geeky about.
Do you have a favourite joke in this set that you're quite looking forward to saying tonight?
Yeah, there's a few new ones. I mean, I'd rather not say them on camera, but there's a few new ones where I sort of think, oh, that's a really good turn, or a good joke on a joke. There's a couple of things actually with a visual element that I'm really pleased with, kind of ideas more than jokes and thoughts. And you know, I mean, I think it's weird because, you know, different stuff appeals to me. I mean, some of it, there's a lot of quite clever wordplay in the show, and very few, you know, and obviously no critic has ever picked up on the clever wordplay because there's a lot of really dark, horrible stuff that's much easier to write about.
Yeah.
So I think how will you know? Sometimes it's the bit of wordplay that's the thing that makes me most proud.
Okay.
That's really clever. That's nice.
How will you know tonight when you're safe and you're doing a good gig? What's the moment when you hit that? What's the feeling?
This early on in the tour, I'm afraid that won't be happening. Normally, on a tour show, I do an hour, and in the interval, I kind of relax.
So what's the best feeling that you can hope for from tonight, your last gig of the week at the Edinburgh International Comedy Centre?
Another one tomorrow, but
one more tomorrow.
I would say I've got a weird laugh. I laugh kind of like it's like a honk. It sounds like Elmo is being sexually molested. It's like when I genuinely laugh. It's like a really weird noise. And if I do that on stage, if I remember why the joke is funny, then I'm really performing the joke. And if an audience member really makes me laugh, and they often do, because in that room of 1,200 people, I'm sitting there with people with the same sense of humour as me, or with like a Venn diagram of a sense of humour. We've got a lot in common. And sometimes it really feels kind of magical, like they're making you laugh as well and kind of reminding you why it's funny. That's the best you could hope for.
So you're hoping for tonight to make yourself laugh,
yeah,
and to have an audience member also make you laugh till you achieve that honk of happiness.
That honk of happiness, yeah, that's nice.
Jimmy, good luck with attaining it tonight.
Oh,
Can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much, man. Cheers, I really appreciate it.
Have a good show.
Thank you very much. What's this for? I didn't ask.
ComComedy.